I've selected 8 Wonderkids from the FM21 database. Some are already household names, others are on the verge of breakthrough. But what if we took these players, moved them to teams in the Vanarama North and South, and then locked them into 18-year contracts? Are they alone good enough to bring these teams up the English football pyramid, potentially to the Premier League before they retire? Let's find out. My name is FM Jellicoe, and this is a Football Manager 21 experiment. 8 youth players in the lower leagues, Episode 2. Well, and this is part 2 of our 8 players in lower league experiment. It is now 2029. I have not looked at the players yet. I have seen some of the things scroll by. One of the things I wanted to do, at least this episode, is it's about halfway through. Take a look at the players a little bit more in detail individually, take a look at their senior caps, take a look at some of their milestones and things like that. So without further ado, I can't believe I actually used that in a sentence properly. Let's see where we are. Okay, PSG, the rich get richer. Player shortlist. Okay, wow. Okay, so Kylian Mbappe and Sebastian Esposito both have teams in League 1. Erling Haaland, Ansu Fati and Youssef Demir are in League 2. João Felix is back in the Vanarama National. Jadon Sancho and Ryan Cherky are still in the National League North. That is interesting. All-time career goals, Erling Haaland has just pipped Mbappe. So you know what? We'll start here. Erling Haaland, valued at 36.5 million euros, 2,000 euros a week, star player, 28 years old. Only 2 senior caps? That. Okay, we're going off on a tangent here. Who do they have on their squad? Steve McLaren is their coach. Erling Haaland is a top player. Senior squad. 33-year-old Alexander Sorloth has 119 caps. Okay, so who's, I wonder, insert column, international caps. Look at that. Sorloth, Berg, Ajer, which is expected. Hag, Svensson, Clayson, Leo Ostegard. Unless they're playing him at striker, I don't see that happening. I can't imagine Ostergaard getting the start above Haaland. 25-year-old Albert Brot Jolland. 18 caps. 38 under 21s. That's interesting. Emil Seed? He's a winger. That just doesn't make a ton of sense. So if we go back to Holland, it doesn't say he's retired from international duty. We'll check here in the milestones. Oh, they were relegated and then promoted. His first international cap in 2019. He had one more, and that's it. A ton of local awards, no transfers. A ton of Helmut Hempstead records. Let me check his history out here. Remarkably consistent. 32 goals, 3 assists, 12 players of the match, 33 goals, 7 assists, 15, 27, 8 and 8, 29, 8 and 16, 37, 11 and 19, 27, 8 and 15, only 32 games, that's 26, 27, 24, 10, 30, 13 and 5, then 27, 7 and 13. What happened in 26, 27? Oh, out 3 months with a broken foot. He did that end of June, so end of July, end of August, end of September. He played October, November, broke his toe in November, and was out another 2 months. Wow, he missed a decent amount of game time, but he still contributed. They are in League Two. They got demoted and they came back up. We saw that in the thing in his bio. But no international caps. That's really interesting. Kylian Mbappe and Blythe are in League One. 34 caps, 13 goals for the French squad. And they got promoted 2 years ago. So 1 year in the National League North, 3 in the National League, 3 in League Two. If all goes according to plan, they'll spend 3 years in League One and get promoted to the championship. Also, remarkably consistent and healthy. Double-digit goals, double-digit assists, double-digit player of the matches, 7.94. Good grief. Where did they finish in League One? Mid-table. Okay, that's to be expected. Ebbsfleet United finished 20th. They just beat relegation. And Mbappe didn't lead the league in scoring. This guy did. Lewis Richardson, 26 years old. Okay, that's interesting. Esposito had 21. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. If we look at his milestones, awards, top goal scorer, best 11, team of the weeks, landmarks. A lot of goal records, which it was to be expected. So let's see, Blythe. Promoted via the playoffs in 21, straight promotion in 24, straight promotion in 27. Not too shabby, Kylian. Now the question is, I think one of the things that's been in their favor, at least in terms of, I mean, that's they get promoted, they finish they finish lower table, they finish mid-table, they finish upper table. So I guess what I'm wondering is the quality of player they're surrounding him with. So Rasmus Halonen is a loanee from Newcastle, a very good loanee from Newcastle. Good grief. Jake Silva, American, also fairly good. Jake Mitchell, 24 years old, also pretty good. So they're doing a good job of building up the team around him as well. I mean, if you just look at this is my squad view that I use, and this is the areas I look at in terms of a player: determination, teamwork, concentration, composure, work rate, and their personality. So he's got a fairly balanced team around him. If we check their average ratings, they're all pretty good. Now the question is he the only goal scorer? Is he the only goal scorer? And for the moment, he is. But they've got a 32-year-old Randall Williams leading them in assists. That's interesting. But the number of loan players they have makes me believe that the coaches they've had have done their best to at least bring in loan players to help them. And what it looks like is they bring in enough loan players to help them. They get promoted. All the loan players leave. Some of their better players leave. And they spent $700,000 on players in. $600,000, 0 out. So they're spending money. 205, 110 in. 67. Yeah, this is when they were still in the Vanarama. So if we look at the club, adequate, fairly basic, youth level 3, decent sponsorship. They're doing okay. We didn't really go that in depth with it early, did we? That's okay. Sebastian Esposito at Ebbsfleet United, also in League One. No international caps, but for Italy, that could be a bit rough, especially if we look at their team. Lorenzo Ducci. Yeah, okay, he's pretty good. And Alessio Rosa. He doesn't have any caps. This is his first year as a international. Yeah, Bellotti, who was in talks to go to the MLS. I saw that scroll by. So yes, it's where European players go. So yeah, Bellotti, this new kid. Tonali's having a good career. He's one of my new favorite young players. Where's he at? Real Madrid, of course he is. Okay. But Sebastian Esposito. Ooh, remarkably consistent as well. And they just got promoted. And they just avoided relegation, too. 30 goals this season. 7 assists, if I'm doing my math correctly in my head, which is debatable at least. 1 year in the National League South, 2 in the National League, 5 in League 2, first year in League 1, and they avoided relegation. That is pretty nice. Via the playoffs. A lot of players of the year, things like that, landmarks. Papa John's Trophy for Player of the Match awards with 4. Stripped of the captaincy, 27. Who's their coach? Who's their captain? Alex Coleman. Team leadership, 6 teamwork, a keeper. Interesting. If we look at their transfers, well, this is 22-23. So net sellers, net sellers, net sellers, net ins, net ins. Okay, they spent a decent amount of money here. The most on a guy from Hemel Hempstead, but not the guy from Hemel Hempstead. Alex Matthews from Port Vale here. Is he a regen? No, I recognize the name, maybe from someone's save. So the question is, as with the other ones, he is their main scoring threat, although Jasper Dowse had 12 goals and 2 assists. They've got a lot of players making assists, though. That kind of helps them. And after that, they've got a few players in in higher single digits, but for the most part, it's a solid team of contributors. They are a bit older, though. In some areas, that could hurt them. But it looks like they've got some good younger players, too, with some potential. So well done, Sebastian. 20th in League 1. They avoided relegation by a point. Was it a last day thing? Let us find out. No, they barely scraped by. Blythe beat them and Crawley Town beat them. And Crawley Town couldn't avoid relegation themselves. That's gotta hurt. Wow. Okay, next up. Jadon Sancho, who is still in the National League North with Curzon Ashton. 29 years old, only 11 caps, 2 goals for the English national squad. I suspect maybe playing on these lower league teams is hurting them. I mean, you would think quality would stand out, but then again, maybe not. I mean, who's the English head coach, for crying out loud? Massimo Allegri. Okay. And see, he's not even part of their top players here. His career stats. Also saw, look at these assists. 20 plus assists in a bunch of years. They got up to the National League, they came back down. Oh, let's see, milestones. And they just got promoted. So they are back in the National League. Yep, they beat Chorley. Oh, that's gotta hurt. We finished 2 points behind them. Where they finished years before. We can take a look at the other. Finished second here. Chorley finished second. Curzon Ashton finished third. Chorley and Curzon Ashton finished 4th and 3rd respectively. 2nd and 3rd this year. Trolley must have gotten promoted this year and come back down. Nope. Well, where the heck are they then? Unless they went up and they came back down. Curzon Ashton promoted, and then they came back down the year. I know Trolley was down there. Now they're mid-table. Now they're at the bottom. Now they're 14th. Since the 2025-26 season, Chorley and Curzon Ashton have finished second and third, third and fourth, second and third, second and third. Curzon Ashton finally got their promotion. Wow, that is tough. It's tough for Jadon Sancho. And it's even tougher for Ryan Checkry, who will check out here in a little bit. But yeah, Sancho has been absolutely solid. I think this is just one of those cases where the quality of team around him just hasn't been there. Although you look at it from this season, they've got a new gen, Ashley Rose, who had 19 goals. They had a lone player from Oldham with 13 goals. They had another player, another loanee from Sunderland, had 10 goals. They had 3 players in double-digit assists and 2 players on 8 assists. So I think this is maybe kind of the year they built the supporting squad around him to be able to be promoted. And they really have, they've had nothing in the way of transfers. They've had no transfer budget whatsoever. They're still a semi-pro squad. That's why. I totally missed that. That is, yeah, you know what? I totally missed that before, that Curzon Ashton is still semi-pro. Because if we go back and we look, Helmut Hempstead's a pro squad now. Blythe is pro. Ebbsfleet United is pro. Curzon Ashton semi-pro. Eastbourne is semi-pro. Chorley is semi-pro. Dulwich Hamlet is professional. And Fylde is professional. So that's got to be the other thing holding it back, is the fact that they just haven't had any money to bring in transfers or quality transfers. They can get quality loan players, and we saw that with Sancho this season. But until they get to League Two, is it League Two where you become a professional team? You might be able to become a professional team in the Vanarama. I don't know off the top of my head. If you do know, leave a comment down below for sure. João Felix, only 5 caps. It's got to be staying in the lower leagues. That's hurting them in terms of international appearances. Promoted back down, promoted right up again. Kind of uneven in terms of performance, but double-digit goals, double-digit assists, 8 players in the match on average, it looks like. They're semi-professional, so he's suffering the same issues. Oh, I can't believe I didn't take that into account when I was looking at this earlier. Way to go, Jellicoe. So, yeah, they've been 8th. They were 8th this season, 18th, 13th, 14th. That's the year they got promoted. It's the year they got relegated. Yeah, it's the semi-pro status that's hurting them too. They're not able to bring players in. And unless you're going to get promoted relatively quickly, like Mbappe did, like Esposito did, like Holland did, your career is just going to stagnate. You're going to be the best player on your semi-pro team. So Ryan Cherky is experiencing the same thing. Although in his defense, he is the youngest here. He's 25. He hasn't really improved physically. Take a look at his history here. But almost 20 assists a season the last 3 seasons. Double-digit goals. But again, semi-pro. He's a captain. He's their best player. But they're only going to be able to surround him with good lone players who are going to leave, like Phil McGill, that's a great name, Phil McGill from Mansfield, who had 13 goals and 10 assists this season. But he was the only player who had double-digit... Oh, there was one more. Münster Subasic, on loan from Crew, had 11 goals. So, ton of best player awards. Control the appearances, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's definitely the semi-pro status. Ansu Fati at Dulwich Hamlet. No senior caps, but pretty solid performance-wise. 2 years in the South, 4 years in the National League, 3 years in League Two. This season, 16, 6, and 12. So double-digit goals, double-digit assists till they got to League Two. They're professional. They finished 24th. Are they coming back down? Yeah, they are coming back down. But it's probably not Fati's fault. He probably did everything he could. 37 appearances, 17 goals, 7 assists. No one else had double-digit goals. They had one player in double-digit assists. Kieran Gilligan, who's probably leaving because he is wanted by Exeter City and Wickham. And just looking at this here, I can tell the quality of players. It's good, but it's not great. And while Ansu Fati's good, he's not Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe good. But the reason I put him on Dulwich Hamlet was because they were picked to finish higher earlier. But they're a professional team now. If they go back down, are they still going to be professional? I think so. And last, but certainly not least, Yusuf Demir at Filed. A lot of under 21 caps, and that's pretty much it. No senior caps. You know, this is solid, if unspectacular. There's nothing here that really stands out. I mean, he's been a good player on decent squads. 1 year in the North, 4 years in the National, 4 years in League Two. Filed finished just above relegation. They are professional. And Demir led them in goals, but they had two other players in double-digit goals. They only had one player in double-digit assists, though, and a couple others. Oh, they had a bunch of players with 5 assists. They only had one player that had a better than 7 rating, and that was Demir. But at least in looking at some of these, Ethan Hanger's listed. And, you know, for a League Two player, that's not bad. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. Let me check the transfer history here. So they sold a couple players. They sold Kyle Edwards for $155,000, but they haven't had any in. Although this is their first year in League Two, so they should have a little bit of a transfer budget. That should allow them to get some players in, you would think. Captain, a lot of awards. League Two Team of the Week, League Two Team of the Week. Promoted via the playoffs. They are going to be going back down. So this has been 28 minutes. You know what? We'll do a couple things here real quick. We'll look at the World Cup. Croatia. Wow. Croatia beat Belgium. France beat the Netherlands. England came in third. Okay, Champions League. Chelsea, Liverpool, PSG, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Man City, Bayern, Liverpool. That's not bad. I mean, at least it's a little bit of variety. It's not the same team over and over and over again. And only because I'm a glutton for punishment. Hey, second in the championship. They got promoted. Maybe. Hey, they got promoted. They're the ultimate yo-yo team. Good grief. Relegated, promoted. Relegated, promoted. Relegated, promoted. Wow. So we are going to call this an episode here. I cannot believe I completely missed the semi-professional status of the teams. that has to be a big contributing factor. Teams like Blythe and Ebbsfleet, who got promoted faster, became professional faster, got access to some of the money faster, that's got to be a big reason why they've had a bit more success as well. And there's not a lot of money for finishing at the top of League 2. And it's the same, the money's about the same in League 1. But you do start getting some money to spend on transfers. So hopefully, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think Esposito and Mbappe aren't gonna have any issues staying up. Demir, well, they're going back down, we know that. Fadi and Holland, I think, aren't gonna have any issues. Hemel Hempstead's solid. Or Fadi, was it Dulwich? So who am I thinking of? Demir's filed. Yeah, so fingers crossed. They may actually, it could be one of those cases where Hemel Hempstead finishes top 6 and Filed finishes mid-table, and they're slowly working their way up. Interesting thing, I think, is going to be in League 1. Blythe is mid-table. Ebbsfleet United is 20th. Can they improve on that? I don't know. But what we are going to do is go to, and I got to check the whiteboard here real quick, the 14th year in, which would be 2035? 2034. So we are going to save this here real quick. Back here and go on vacation until we'll go here. We'll go to the 16th, 2034, and see what happens next. Is it possible one or more teams could make their way to the championship? Could they get to the Premier League before they get too old to contribute? That's going to be the question. I think if they do, it could be one of those things where they go up and they come right back down. But still, getting the Premier League is an accomplishment. So, it's been an interesting experiment. I think it'd be interesting to run this, more than a few times and see if the results are kind of the same. The one thing I do need to do, if I do run this again, is take a look at the teams in the Vanarama and see which ones are professional and which ones are semi-professional, and possibly assign the players to those professional teams. But that's a bridge we'll cross next time. If you have liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM Jellico. I thank you for watching.